Hi everyone, welcome back to the Investing Iguana, where we talk about all things related to personal finance and investing in Singapore. I'm your host, Iggy, and today we're going to discuss a very important topic that affects all of us, the Singapore government's new policies on CPF and SRS in 2023. If you're not familiar with these terms, CPF stands for Central Provident Fund, which is a mandatory savings scheme for Singaporeans and permanent residents. It helps us save for our retirement, healthcare, and housing needs. SRS stands for Supplementary Retirement Scheme, which is a voluntary savings scheme that complements CPF. It offers attractive tax benefits for those who want to save more for their retirement. Now, you may be wondering, what are the new policies that the government has announced recently? And how do they affect you and your retirement planning? Well, don't worry, because in this video, I'm going to explain everything you need to know in a simple and easy to understand way. So grab a cup of coffee or tea, sit back and relax, and let's get started. The first policy change that we're going to talk about is the increase in the CPF monthly salary ceiling. This is part of the government's efforts to help more middle-income earners save more with CPF and ensure that the CPF system remains relevant for most workers. The CPF monthly salary ceiling is the maximum amount of income that attracts CPF contributions from both employers and employees. It is updated periodically to keep pace with rising salaries and cover the majority of CPF members. Do you want to save more for your retirement with CPF? Well, you're in luck, because the government has announced that they will increase the amount of income that is eligible for CPF contributions. This means that if you earn more than $6,000 a month, you will get more CPF savings from both yourself and your employer. How much more? Well, let me show you this table that explains how the CPF monthly salary ceiling will go up over the next few years. September 1st, 2023, the CPF monthly salary ceiling will be increased by $300 to $6,300. January 1st, 2024, the CPF monthly salary ceiling will be increased by $500 to $6,800. January 1st, 2025, the CPF monthly salary ceiling will be increased by $600 to $7,400. January 1st, 2026, the CPF monthly salary ceiling will be increased by $600 to $8,000. The CPF monthly salary ceiling is the maximum amount of salary that is eligible for CPF contributions. This means that if you earn more than the CPF monthly salary ceiling, your employer will not contribute CPF to your account for any amount above the ceiling. As you can see, by 2026, the CPF monthly salary ceiling will be $8,000. That's a whopping $2,000 increase from now. This means that if you earn $8,000 or more a month, you will receive CPF contributions on your full salary instead of just $6,000. But don't worry if you earn less than $6,000 a month. This policy change doesn't affect you much. You will still receive the same amount of CPF contributions and tax relief as before. Now, you may be wondering, why is the government doing this? Well, it's because they want to help more middle-income Singaporeans save more for their retirement and ensure that the CPF system remains relevant for most workers. They also want to keep pace with rising salaries and cover the majority of CPF members. The increase in the CPF monthly salary ceiling is intended to help middle-income Singaporeans save more for their retirement. By increasing the amount of salary that is eligible for CPF contributions, the government is hoping to encourage Singaporeans to save more for their retirement and reduce their reliance on government assistance in their old age. The CPF annual salary ceiling, which limits the total amount of ordinary wages and additional wages that attract CPF contributions, will remain at $100 to $2,000 for now. It will be reviewed periodically to ensure that it covers the majority of CPF members. So what does this mean for you? Well, if you're an employee who's earning above $6,000, this is good news for you. You will benefit from higher CPF contributions from both yourself and your employer, which will increase your CPF savings for your retirement, healthcare, and housing needs. You will also enjoy higher tax relief for your CPF contributions, which will reduce your taxable income and income tax payable. However, if you're an employee who's earning below $6,000, this policy change doesn't affect you much. You will continue to receive the same amount of CPF contributions and tax relief as before. But don't worry, because there are other ways that you can boost your CPF savings and enjoy tax benefits. And this brings us to the second policy change that we're going to talk about, the simplification of the rules for the retirement sum topping up, RSTU, and voluntary contributions to MediSave Account, VCMA, schemes. The RSTU scheme allows you to top up your own or your loved one's CPF accounts with cash or CPF savings to enhance your retirement income. The VCMA scheme allows you to contribute cash to your own or your loved one's MediSave accounts to save for your healthcare expenses. Both schemes offer attractive tax benefits for the contributors. For the RSTU scheme, you can claim tax relief of up to $7,000 per year for topping up your own account and another $7,000 per year for topping up your loved one's accounts. For the VCMA scheme, you can claim tax relief of up to the current basic healthcare sum, BHS, per year for contributing to your own account and another BHS per year for contributing to your loved one's accounts. However, the rules for both schemes can be quite complex and confusing for some people. For example, some people may not know how much they can top up or contribute, or who they can top up or contribute for. Some people may also find it cumbersome to check different limits and criteria before making their transactions. That's why the government has decided to simplify the rules for both schemes from January 1, 2022. Here are some of the changes that will apply. To align the rules for both schemes, tax relief for VCMA will be provided to the contributors instead of the recipients. Also, a higher combined tax relief cap of $8,000 per year will be set for both schemes. This means that you can claim up to $8,000 of tax relief per year for any combination of RSTU and VCMA transactions. You can refer to the BHS to determine the VCMA contribution limit. You no longer have to check the annual limit or the prevailing contribution rate. These changes will make it easier and more convenient for you to use both schemes and enjoy their tax benefits. They will also encourage you to save more for your retirement and healthcare needs. So what does this mean for you? Well, if you're someone who's already using or planning to use either or both schemes, this is good news for you. You will have more flexibility and simplicity in making your transactions and claiming your tax relief. You will also have more incentive to save more for yourself and your loved ones. However, if you're someone who's not using or interested in using either or both schemes, this policy change doesn't affect you much. You can still choose other ways to save and invest for your retirement and healthcare needs. But do note that these schemes offer some of the best tax benefits in Singapore, so you may want to consider them as part of your financial planning. The third policy change that we're going to talk about is the increase in the CPF contribution rates for senior workers. This is part of the government's efforts to provide more support for seniors who wish to continue working longer and improve their retirement adequacy. The CPF contribution rates are the percentages of income that employers and employees have to contribute to the CPF accounts of employees. They vary according to the age group and income level of the employees. Do you want to work longer and save more for your retirement with CPF? Well, you're in luck, because the government has announced that they will increase the amount of CPF savings that you and your employer will contribute to your CPF accounts. This means that if you're an older worker aged 55 to 70, you will get more CPF savings for your retirement, healthcare, and housing needs. How much more? Well, let me show you this table that explains how the CPF contribution rates for older workers will go up over the next few years. The table shows the CPF contribution rates for employees in Singapore from January 1, 2024. The rates are based on the employee's age. Employees aged 55 and below, the contribution rate remains unchanged at 37%. This means that for every $100 that an employee earns, $37 will be contributed to their CPF accounts by their employer and themselves. Employees aged 55 to 60, the contribution rate will increase from 28% to 29.5%. This means that for every $100 that an employee earns, $29.50 will be contributed to their CPF accounts by their employer and themselves. Employees aged 60 to 65, the contribution rate will increase from 21% to 20.5%. This means that for every $100 that an employee earns, $20.50 will be contributed to their CPF accounts by their employer and themselves. Employees aged 65 to 70, the contribution rate will increase from 14% to 13.5%. This means that for every $100 that an employee earns, $13.50 will be contributed to their CPF accounts by their employer and themselves. As you can see, by 2024, the CPF contribution rates for older workers will increase by up to 1.5 percentage points. That's a significant boost for your CPF savings. This means that for every $100 that you earn, up to $15 more will be contributed to your CPF accounts by your employer and yourself. But don't worry if you're a younger worker who's still far away from retirement. This policy change doesn't affect you much. You will continue to receive the same amount of CPF contributions as before. The increase in the CPF contribution rates for senior workers will benefit both employers and employees. For employers, they will enjoy higher tax deductions for their CPF contributions, which will reduce their corporate tax payable. For employees, they will receive higher CPF savings for their retirement, healthcare, and housing needs. So what does this mean for you? Well, if you're a senior worker who's earning above the prevailing wage threshold, $750 per month, this is good news for you. You will receive higher CPF contributions from both yourself and your employer, which will increase your CPF savings and monthly payouts when you retire. However, if you're a senior worker who's earning below the prevailing wage threshold, $750 per month, this policy change doesn't affect you much. You will continue to receive the same amount of CPF contributions as before. But what if you're a younger worker who's still far away from retirement? Well, this policy change also affects you in some ways. For one thing, it means that you have more options and opportunities when it comes to your career path and retirement plans. You can choose to work longer or retire earlier depending on your preferences and circumstances. You can also adjust your savings and investment strategies accordingly to meet your retirement goals. For another thing, it means that you have more responsibility for your own retirement planning. You can't rely on your employer or the government to take care of everything for you. You have to take charge of your own financial future and make informed decisions that suit your needs and aspirations. So how can you do that? Well, one way is to make use of the SRS scheme and its various features that are designed to help you save more for your retirement and enjoy tax benefits. The SRS scheme allows you to contribute cash up to a certain limit every year, $15,300 for Singaporeans and permanent residents, and $35,700 for foreigners, to an SRS account that you can open with any of the three local banks, DBS, OCBC, or UOB. The SRS scheme offers attractive tax benefits for the contributors. For every dollar that you contribute to your SRS account, you can claim tax relief of the same amount, subject to a cap of $8,000 per year. This means that you can reduce your taxable income and income tax payable by contributing to your SRS account. The SRS scheme also allows you to invest your SRS funds in a wide range of approved financial products, such as stocks, bonds, unit trusts, insurance policies, and annuities. The investment returns from your SRS funds are accumulated tax-free until you withdraw them. The SRS scheme is meant to complement your CPF savings and provide you with an additional source of income during your retirement. You can start withdrawing from your SRS account anytime from the statutory retirement age, currently 62, onwards. You can withdraw up to $40,000 per year without paying any tax. Only 50% of the amount above $40,000 is taxable. However, the SRS scheme also has some drawbacks that you should be aware of. For one thing, it is not a risk-free scheme. The value of your SRS funds depends on the performance of your investments. If your investments do poorly, you may end up with less than what you contributed. For another thing, it is not a flexible scheme. If you withdraw from your SRS account before the statutory retirement age, currently 62, you will have to pay a 5% penalty and 100% tax on the withdrawal amount. This means that you will lose a significant portion of your SRS savings if you withdraw early. Therefore, before you decide to use the SRS scheme, you should consider your financial goals and risk appetite carefully. You should also consult a financial advisor or planner if you need help with choosing suitable investments for your SRS funds. So there you have it, the Singapore government's new policies on CPF and SRS in 2023 and how they affect you and your retirement planning. If you enjoyed it and want to learn more about how to grow your wealth, you'll love our next video. It's called 5 Mistakes to Avoid When Investing Your CPF Money. CPF is a mandatory savings scheme for Singaporeans and permanent residents, but you can also use it to invest in various products and earn higher returns. Sounds great, right? But be careful, because investing your CPF money can also be risky and tricky. That's why we've created this video to show you 5 common mistakes that many people make when investing their CPF money and how you can avoid them. This video will help you make smarter decisions with your CPF money and achieve your financial goals faster. You can click on the link to access this video. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. It really helps us to understand what kind of content you want to see more of. And don't forget to subscribe. Here at the Investing Iguana, we're dedicated to helping you navigate your financial journey with confidence and clarity. And guess what? There's plenty more where this came from. Stay tuned for our upcoming videos, where we'll tackle other interesting financial topics like the best investment strategies, understanding the stock market, and how to make your money work harder for you. As always, we're thrilled to have you as part of our Investing Iguana community. Your support helps us keep producing free content like this. Remember, every like, share, and subscribe goes a long way. Thanks for joining us today. Keep investing, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.